Hi, all. This is Miriam Wartell, author of the book Lessons in Law of Attraction. This morning, I woke up and I had this immense clarity, not immediately upon waking up, but shortly thereafterwards. I've been thinking, recently about this concept of what we call the good eye, looking at people with the good eye, looking at people in a good way. And I even had someone close to me text me. It was like this meme, I forget what it said, and I'd asked, why they texted me that, and the person says, because you always look at people with a good eye. And I really always thought that I did. And for the most part, I really do. But something really profound came to me. That there was someone in particular in my life that I kept feeling, and I feel like so many people can relate to this, with at least one person in their life, if not multiple people in their life. Oh, I always look at them with such a good eye. Why are they showing up that way to me? Why are they mistreating me? Why are they being this way? And honestly, when we understand, the world's our mirror, right? And that's not to say that should be taken so literally, because obviously, look, there's abusive people out there, there's people that have their own issues, don't, take my word to go running with them, but so far, you know what I mean? But for the most part, people are there to mirror you, right? Occasionally there are certain experiences that, God placed certain people in your life to help with your soul journey, right? But if you want to say 99 or 99.9% of people and experiences is falling into this mirror concept, it's because they're mirroring, your beliefs, right? How you feel about yourself, how you feel about the world, and how you feel about, the people around you, right? So if you're saying, if part of your mental story, and some of this could be in your subconscious, but usually the subconscious bleeds sort of into the conscious mind in a sense. In other words, or as I like to say it, the subconscious mind is always leaving hints, right? Dropping hints, which you can notice in certain speech patterns or certain things that's going on in your life. So there's ways to figure out what's going on in your subconscious. Obviously we can't consciously directly know what's in our subconscious, but we do get an idea. Anyway, what I've, noticed is I'll get upset, someone recently that I got upset with, and I was like, why are they being so stubborn? I look at this person, they're such a good-hearted person, all these things, but I literally realized every issue that I've had with them is because I assumed that they were stubborn, or that person looked at things in a certain way, or because of how I looked at myself, and I've had this with even a number of people play out in my life. There are times I have felt unseen. Look, even as someone who's decently well known, right, through a variety of things that I do, including being a self-help author, whatever, sometimes it's for example, I kind of feel are people really seeing my content? Am I getting out there? Sometimes I even have those thoughts and I have to not go there, right? But sometimes in my own with my own family, friends, and everything else, it's are people seeing me for who I really am? And are they seeing my value? And there's things there's a reason why I write what I write and I share what I share. It's because I'm not every one of these people that wants to preach these law of attraction or self-concept principles from on high. I always tell people I'm doing this work with you. I'm learning from the mistakes that I've made and I'm sharing them so you don't have to make them too. But I feel there's so many people, and I feel this happens especially a lot in marriages and close family relationships, and of course friendships too, um, that, so it's, yeah, that's what I said. So I said marriages, friendships, it happens even with coworkers a lot. Oh my God. So lots of different scenarios. And it's just so crazy because, you know, we're busy thinking, oh, here I am. I'm such a good person. I'm thinking of them so well. And like, maybe we're not so cognizant. You know, and I am cognizant. Like, I knew I had negative thoughts towards, I mean, I can think of a couple specific people in my life, right? Based on things that have happened that I've maybe not held the best thoughts towards. I've definitely tried and I've worked on it. But I'm like, you know, I'm busy thinking, oh, I have this good eye. Oh, I'm seeing the good in them. Oh, I'm seeing they have a good heart. But as long as it's followed up with, but why are they being this way, this way, this way, and this way? I realize that proves I really didn't have as much of a good eye as I thought I did. And that was kind of humbling. That put me in my place, and that gave me a lot to think about. And I'm like, if that gave me that much to think about, other people need to hear this too. Because how many times are people, you know, looking at their spouse, they're like, where's this man or woman that I fell in love with? You know, I know they have a good heart, but why is that person, you know, being so stubborn? Why won't that person take out the trash? Why is that person never helping themselves? Why is that person never cleaning up after themselves? You know, why is that person not giving me enough time? Which means you have an assumption about them and yourself, by the way, right? Because in a lot of those things, like, it's even someone like, for example, not taking out the trash, right? That kind of implies they're putting, like, if you're a married person, putting more stuff on you, so you have an assumption about yourself, right? And you're also assuming that they're not going to do something basic. And guess what that does? If you listen to my recording on you know, how our thoughts transmit, right? You're literally beaming a thought into their mind, which they don't know is your thought. They think it's their thought. You're like literally sending them an impulse to not take out the trash. Okay? Oh, they're probably not going to take out the trash. Well, then guess what? They're likely not going to take out the trash. Take out the trash. The exception to that is if someone else is in alignment, if they're in a place of love, then they're going to bypass your negativity, right? So you don't think like every single negative thought creates, right? You know, and thank God screened some of our thoughts, otherwise we'd all be up a creek. But as I said, I think there's a lot of us that accidentally make these assumptions, and that's why I needed to record this, because we're like, oh yeah, you know, I think of the person, I'm such a kind person, and I will tell people, and I know, and I own this, I'm probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I'm the kind of person that I will just, for someone even I've barely met, barely known, whatever, I will go and do all kinds of things with, and I always try to be such a caring, loving person. But even still, I have to acknowledge that I've thought negative thoughts, and I can't think, you know, I can't be over here saying, oh, I have such a good eye, oh, I'm thinking of them such a good person, when they're just reflecting back to me my thoughts either about myself or about them or a combination of the two. And, you know, so it's like, I urge you for any relationships, again, so for marriages, if you're like always feeling chronically let down, or if you're feeling like your partner is distant, or if you're feeling whatever you're feeling, how does it make you feel about yourself? And what are you assuming about your partner? Sorry, my throat just got froggy for a second. And with friendships, if there was friction, what were the thoughts you were thinking just before that? Are you feeling like, you know, no one respects me, no one appreciates me, no one values me? Are you thinking, oh, so-and-so is always focused on her own stuff, or are you thinking no one makes time for me? Like there's thoughts behind whatever's going on in your life. That's the crazy, crazy, crazy part, right? And then, you know, again, work relationships. Oh, you know, like you complain about maybe not getting a raise or whatever it is. Like, do you feel unseen? And are you affirming mentally, even if you don't say it out loud, or if you are thinking in your head, you are probably saying it out loud, at least to someone, you know, that your boss doesn't see your potential, right? Well, your boss doesn't see your potential if you're busy affirming that. Or if he or she does, they're not going to tell you because you're busy affirming that. And so it doesn't matter what the relationship is, you know what I mean? And it could be with like things that aren't people. It could be how you, again, thinking about money and whatever it is. But again, this particular recording is focusing on the idea of the good eye, right? Looking at things through the concept of the good eye and looking at things with a positive viewpoint. And as I said, we cannot look at someone wholeheartedly with a good eye unless we also look at ourselves with a good eye, okay? Because the story is always going to combine the two. But we have to acknowledge that as much as we try to, and we should, and obviously we do the best that we can, right? That we have to like maybe even write them down, like what are these negative assumptions I've had about this person, and then change to the positive and watch what happens. And I'm actually really curious to get people's feedback on this. If you try this, like try this with, you know, your significant other if you have one. Try this with your siblings, your parents, you know, your coworkers, your friends, your dog walker. I don't know, I'm just being funny at this point, but anyone that you've had issues with. And then also do it with yourself, because you're going to see, again, you're a huge part of that equation too, because you're going to be the reason, based off how you view yourself is based off why you're going to project certain things onto others. That's what you're going to find out, because everything goes back to the identity level. So I really hope this was helpful. This recording is obviously a little shorter than my other ones, but let me know if it resonates, and then let me know what you think of the results of this when you actually consciously start changing your negative assumptions to positive ones. Let me know what happens in your life.